There's no cure for racing. You're not even going broke. The only cure for racing is the end of our lives, not the end of our career.
By far the best series I've ever raced in, dollar for dollar. I can race all year on a quarter what it would cost me to run anything else.
Here you can beat it out or make a new one and be back the next week. And it's really an affordable series. I really like it.
It's nice to come back, and have the car slide around and, put it back in the driver's hands. I like that.
Hi guys, I'm Olivia Pritchett and I am here at a historic track that was built in the late 1920s. Now in 1967, they doubled the size of this track, going from a quarter-mile to a half-mile oval. You are looking at one of the oldest, not to mention one of the finest short track facilities in the U.S. The Super Cup Stock Car Series is thrilled to be racing at Jennerstown Speedway.
And one of the more popular stops on the Super Cup Tour here at Jennerstown Speedway. Hello, everybody. I'm Gene Crane along with Olivia Pritchett. We'll cover all the action for round 3 of the Northern Division of the Super Cup Stock Car Series here in 2017, 10th anniversary season for the Super Cup Stock Car Series. Tonight, it's the American Racer Tires Night at the Races, presented by United Tire and Service. Twin 50s here tonight. Let's look at the starting lineup for the first of our Twin 50s. Stephen Cox will go to the inside of row number 1 by virtue of the pill draw. Brent Nelson was quick time by 3/100ths of a second with the 80 car. He's on the outside. Defending champion Harvey Harrison, car 51 inside row 2, and veteran Bob Schacht in the 75 lines up on the outside. J.P. Crabtree has the 42 inside row 3, and his father, as well as current point leader Jim Crabtree in the 63 on the outside. Larry Wilcox, good qualifying effort for the 66. He's inside row 4, and Brian Harrison starts alongside him in the 15. Winner of the opening round of racing for Super Cup, Trent Gosser inside row 5, and veteran Mike Potter in the 14. Row 6 will see Brandon Harrison's 5-car lineup on the inside, and rookie Jared Brocker in the 72. Ron Langdon makes his first start of 2017. He's inside row 7 with car 90, and Kevin Kromer in the 77 on the outside. John Kamarinsky in car 33 starts inside row 8, and winner here at Jennerstown last year, Bill Ashton in the 35 alongside him. Kyle Kromer's in the 52 inside row number 9, along with Jason Shue in the 3-car on the outside, and Larry Berg starts car 21, shotgun on the field. The safety truck here at Jennerstown Speedway heads to pit road. We are set for a start. Field tightens up off of turn 4. Green is out, and Stephen Cox gets to the go button really fast. He is going to get down to turn 1 as your race leader. Cox in that 7-car. Using the low groove. Interesting line there. Brent Nelson going middle groove through turns 1 and 2. He'll settle into second. Bob Schacht is third. And behind them, pretty good battle between Harvey Harrison along with Jim Crabtree Jr. as they battle for 4th and 5th. Across the line, and caution is out. Caution as the leaders got to the line. The flagman had the caution in his hand and waving. So this will cause a complete restart. We'll restack him, re-rack him once again. And here's the reason. Jared Brocker, looks like the hood came up on the 72 car. His crew over to try to fix that situation and get set for the restart. Field getting set for the restart. Stephen Cox in car 7 and Brent Nelson in the 80 car once again, your front row. Harrison and Schacht in the 2nd row, along with the Crabtrees in row number 3. As the safety truck goes to pit road, once again, they bring him to green, and this time it's a drag race down the front straightaway, side by side, down to turn 1. On the inside, Stephen Cox, but Brent Nelson on the outside in that 80 car. He's got the ponies wound up. He's got maybe a quarter car length lead down into turn 3. He'll carry it in deep, and Nelson had the lead for a moment. Cox gets back on the throttle, and Cox gets sideways and loses forward momentum. That lets Nelson move to the point. 80 car, Brent Nelson, your leader. Stephen Cox in 2nd. Bob Schacht in 3rd as they head down the back straightaway. And looks like Brent Nelson really got off of turn 2 nicely. Opened up another car length and a half as we ride along with Stephen Cox in the stable onboard camera. And Cox in trouble. Smoke out of the 7 car. Lap number 2, and Stephen Cox sees the car go up in smoke. He's down to the apron in turns 1 and 2. Car rolling down in a hurry. What a roller coaster of emotions this must be after celebrating in Victory Lane his first ever Super Cup win at the most recent event at Midvale. An early caution flag here at Jennerstown Speedway in Super Cup action As we head out to break, let's take a look at our top 5, including Brett Nelson, your leader. Jim Crabtree, Bob Schacht, Harrison, and Harrison rounds out your top 5. The Super Cup Stock Car Series is brought to you by Performance Fiberglass Products and by G-Force Racing Gear, your home for quality, innovation, and value. View of victory lane from last season. Cody Robaugh winning the last time we were here at Jennerstown Speedway, but right now setting up for a restart. The American Racer Tires Night at the Races, presented by United Tire and Service. Brett Nelson, your race leader on the inside, up on his outside. Harvey Harrison in the 51 car. So we get set for a restart. Pace truck to pit road, looking to the flag stand and off the corner. Nelson on the go button, and we are racing again here at Jennerstown. Down to turn 1. Nelson on the bottom side will take over the race lead. Here's Crabtree in the 63 and Harrison in the 51 car. Side by side, Harrison gets a pretty good run off the corner. He'll take over second, buries it down into 3 and 4. Leans on those American Racer tires and takes over second, challenging Nelson. We ride along with the 71 of Trent Gosser, winner of the opening round of racing. Back at Midvale, his first ever trip to victory lane in Super Cup competition. He's riding 5th, sizing up the competition. We saw him go from the back to the front, not once but twice in Midvale, and trouble. Gosser into the inside wall on the front straightaway, and a second shot. There's another car on the outside, blue and yellow car that looks to be the 14 car of Mike Potter. Under caution, will go to red. Under red, Gosser trying to climb from his machine. Safety crews over to take a look at the Potter machine and help Mike Potter. Here's a view from Bob Schacht's windshield. A couple of cars getting together. There's Gosser. First shot into the wall comes up. He'll collect Potter. Potter, almost a 45-degree angle. Hard impact. The outside wall in turn 1. Bob Schacht able to get it woed down before making any contact. There's Wilcox getting by, but man, what a shot for Mike Potter. And the good news is he's climbing from the car. What a ride Mike Potter took, as well as Trent Gosser. Gosser is okay, and with Olivia.
All right, Trent, what happened?
Come out of turn 3, and it was just like the steering broke or something. I had no control over it, and well, cars usually go to the left, so at least we went to the inside wall and pretty much junked the race car, it looks like. I ain't 100% sure. I know I come out about the flag stand is when it wouldn't. I tried to turn it to the right, and it just shot to the inside wall and bounced off the inside wall. I don't know if it spun around, got hit again, and hit the inside wall again. A couple good times, pretty hard. But yeah, I'll probably be sore tomorrow.
So Gosser out of it. The 2 winners from Midvale out of it very early here at Jennerstown. And this is just the first of twin 50s here tonight. Field reset, kind of a picture of the last restart. Nelson on the inside, on the outside is Harvey Harrison in that 51 car. Once again on the restart, it's a drag race down to turn 1 this time. Harrison keeping pace with Nelson. He'll run the outside line as they work off of turn 2. Down the back straightaway. Harrison trying to get a run. Loses a little bit of time at corner entry to Nelson. Nelson comes off turn 4 with the race lead. Crabtree to the inside of Harrison. They'll battle for second down to turn 1. Add Brian Harrison and the 15 car to the mix. Pretty good battle for second. Everybody chasing Brett Nelson in the 80 car. Crabtree gets to the inside of Harvey Harrison. Looks like Crabtree, Jim Crabtree Jr. takes over second in the 63. Harvey Harrison in the 51 drops back to third. As they work across start finish, we'll head to break. We'll be back with more action from right here at Jennerstown after this. It's Nelson, Crabtree, Harrison, and Cromer, your top 5. The Super Cup Stock Car Series is brought to you by United Tire and Service and by Stable 360 Oil Stabilizer. Prevent corrosion above and below the oil line. American Racer Tires Night at the Races presented by United Tire and Service. First of twin 50s here tonight at Jennerstown Speedway. The 10th anniversary of the Super Cup Stock Car Series. And Brett Nelson continuing to show the way. Second place is the 63 of Jim Crabtree Jr. Crabtree picked up a pair of second-place finishes at Midvale Speedway. Trying to improve it by 1 spot. Sits in that second spot, 5, maybe 6 car lengths back from Nelson. Further back from Crabtree is the 51 of Harvey Harrison, holding down the 3rd spot. Here's the 7 car, Stephen Cox. A broken oil line, apparently part of the culprit, as well as a connecting rod. So mark that down as a ventilated oil pan on the 7 car, putting Stephen Cox out of tonight's events. Leaders across start finish. Here's Harvey Harrison's 51 car. Kevin Cromer has gotten by Brian Harrison for the 4th position as we ride with Brandon Harrison and the 5 car. They've been working hard, seeing some improvement here in 2017, plus picking up a little extra help.
Yeah, we're coming along pretty good. We tried some stuff this winter, and it seems to be working pretty good, and hopefully we can carry it on to this race. I have a JJ Pack helping me, and he's been helping me out, getting the car to turn a lot better, and he changed my shocks, my right front shocks, to something he had when he won up here the last time, so hopefully it'll work tonight for me.
Brandon looking pretty strong right now, riding right behind JP Crabtree and the 66 of Larry Wilcox as they go down to turns 1 and 2. And contact, Crabtree and Harrison get together. Harrison up and into the outside wall in turn 1. We're going to caution. Spin by Crabtree, heavy contact for Harrison. 5 car. Definitely done for at least this 50-lapper. We'll see if he can make it back for the second 50-lapper later tonight. But here's another look at it. Right front to left rear. Something may have broke on Brandon's car. He goes straight up to the outside wall and makes contact there as well. It's a heavy damage to the 5 of Brandon Harrison after showing a lot of improvement so far in 2017. Brett Nelson in the 80 car on the inside of row 1, set to bring him back to the restart. Jim Crabtree Jr. on the outside in that 63 car. Kevin Cromer in the 77 along with the 51 of Harvey Harrison. In row number 2, green is out, and Nelson leads them back to turns 1 and 2. Crabtree will drop back in and follow in the tire tracks of Nelson off of turn 2. Cromer still to the inside. Now Harvey Harrison able to clear the 77 of Cromer. Cromer back to 4th, and the 75 of Bob Schacht rounding out your top 5. The leader across start finish, everybody chasing Brett Nelson and that 80 car. Harrison now within 2 car lengths of the 63 of Crabtree. Brandon Harrison out of tonight's event after hard contact.
I was getting ready to make the pass on JP Crabtree, and I was up under him, and I was hoping his spotter would tell him I was under him, and he cut plumb down on top of me, and you know, just hard racing. I'm sure he didn't mean to, and it may have been a little bit of both, but just unfortunate, and like I said, we'll be back and ready to go next time.
A strong effort comes to naught here in the first 50-lapper at Jennerstown for Brandon Harrison. Leaders across start finish line. Everybody chasing Brett Nelson in that 80 car. As we head to break, here's a look at our top 5. The American Racer Tires night at the races. It's Nelson, Crabtree, Harvey Harrison, Kevin Cromer, and Bob Schacht. The Super Cup Stock Car Series is brought to you by Racing Electronics and by G-Force Racing Gear, your home for quality, innovation, and value. Super Cup Stock Car action at Jennerstown Speedway. American Racer Tires night at the races, presented by United Tire and Service. 10th anniversary season for the Super Cup Stock Car Series. Brett Nelson has been dominant here tonight at Jennerstown, showing the way over the 63 of Jim Crabtree Jr. Harvey Harrison, car 51, and the 77 of Kevin Cromer, 3rd and 4th. Along with Bob Schacht hanging out right there in that 5th position, on board with Bob Schacht. From time to time, I'll mention about him being a veteran competitor, and he truly is, competing in the top 3 divisions of NASCAR throughout his career, as well as a long, storied career in the ARCA Series, as well as the Hooters Pro Cup Series. Has now found a home here in the Super Cup Series last season. Glad to have Bob Schacht and quite a few others joining us here in the Super Cup Series. One car to the inside of turn 2. Look to be the 3 car, Jason Shue, as we go to caution. Car to the inside wall over in turn 2. Car number 3, Jason Shue, bringing out this caution as the field slows, and we'll get set for a restart. Brent Nelson and Jim Crabtree Jr. make up that front row for this restart. Kevin Cromer lines up on the inside of row number 2. Harvey Harrison, Brian Harrison, Larry Wilcox, Bob Shack, J.P. Crabtree. A lot of attrition here in this first 50-lapper. Still a second 50-lapper later in the day here at Jennerstown Speedway. Restart, and again Crabtree makes a run but cannot get enough of a run into turn 1 to stay alongside Nelson. Nelson goes to the race lead down the backstretch. Cromer and Harrison get together, battling for third. There's damage on Harrison's car. Didn't appear to hit the inside wall, but there is damage on the nose of the 51 car. The defending champion in trouble here at Jennerstown. Harvey Harrison, car comes to a stop. Once again right along with Bob Schacht. And you can see Harrison was able to avoid the outside wall, but came down right in front of the 66 of Larry Wilcox. Wilcox sheared off the front bumper cover of the 51 car. Here's another look at it. Not sure if Harrison got to the outside wall. Definitely got to the right rear quarter panel of Cromer. Went for a slide. Here's Wilcox right at the very end. The right rear of Wilcox's car takes the front bumper cover of the 51 of Harrison. And that is a tough incident for the 51 of Harvey Harrison. Reset for the restart. Once again, it is Nelson and Crabtree up front. This time, Cromer is joined by Brian Harrison, who narrowly slipped by his father's spinning 51 car. Field for the restart, and once again, green is out. Down to turn 1. Crabtree tries once again from the outside, but down on the bottom groove. Brent Nelson is very strong in that 80 car. Nelson back up front. Crabtree to second. Cromer third. Battle for fourth between Brian Harrison and Bob Schacht in that 75 car. 3-car battle for third off of turn 4 and back to start finish. Jim Crabtree pursues the 80 of Nelson. Out of the event is Harvey Harrison. Olivia's down there observing what's going on.
It looks bad, but Harvey's already talking about getting into the next feature. He's not wasting any time.
True racer Harvey Harrison, our defending champion, trying to hustle and get that 51 ready for yet a second 50-lapper here tonight at Jennerstown Speedway. As we head to break, here's a look at our top 5. Brent Nelson, Jim Crabtree, Brian Harrison, Kevin Cromer, and Bob Schacht rounding out your top 5. We'll be right back. The Super Cup Stock Car Series is brought to you by Lincoln Welders and by 303. Keep your car looking new longer. Super Cup action at Jennerstown Speedway. Closing stages of the American Racer Tires Night at the Races, presented by United Tire and Service. And it has been a Brent Nelson show here in this first of twin 50-lappers. Nelson in the 80 car. Dominant performance. Probably felt like this track owed him one after a disastrous visit for the second series of races back in the 2016 season. Had the point lead and did not win the championship after a very rough night. Tonight, though, Nelson looks to be on his way to victory lane. Enjoys about a 12-car length advantage over Jim Crabtree Jr. Here's Brent Nelson across the line. White flag out. There is Crabtree. Still behind, maybe half straightaway. And then Kevin Cromer in that third position, putting together a good run here tonight as well. Here is the 80 car of Nelson down to turn 3. One more set of corners. Brent Nelson works his way through turn 4, sets his sights on the flag stand. He will win the first of twin 50s here tonight at Jennerstown. Crabtree will finish in second. Cromer comes home third. Brian Harrison puts together a good run in fourth. Brent Nelson, he's going to light up the tires. Brent, you may want to save that motor, though, a little bit. You've got another 50 yet to run here tonight at Jennerstown. Brent Nelson celebrating on the front straightaway and headed over to the victory lane. Nelson must feel vindicated here tonight as he unstraps and climbs from the cockpit of that 80 car. Brent Nelson, your winner here tonight. And Olivia with our happy winner.
Brent Nelson, congratulations.
Thank you.
You did that all by yourself. How did you not lose concentration?
I just made sure I hit my mark. You know, the car was tight, but we overcome it, you know, going into 1 and 3. You know, I just knew what line I had to hit, and consistency, you know, we hit it from the beginning of the race to the end.
Well, yeah, I think we're all wanting to know what on earth you did to your car.
Well, we basically, from Midville till tonight, we basically completely redone the car as we had gremlins. And hopefully, I think we got them out.
Well, after such a rough time before, what does this mean to you?
Oh, man, this means the world. We're going to party tonight.
Congratulations.
He is happy. Nelson in victory lane for a third-time runner-up finish. Jim Crabtree comes home second, and Kevin Cromer puts together a great run here tonight, and Cromer brings his car home third. Olivia is with them.
All right, Jim, you said no more second place, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but we're still struggling. The car's just still tight in the middle, so at least it's got all the fenders on it. We can work on it here and hopefully get it better for this next race, because it's just extremely tight in the middle. And as you can see, that's where Brent gets away from me. You know, just a little bit every lap. He just keeps pulling away. His car's turning pretty good. We'll get it. I need to loosen the car up. I don't know if I can take some wedge out or raise a track bar or something, but we got to do some major changes because it's very tight.
All right, Kevin, when you said you were going to do bigger and better this year, you weren't kidding.
Well, we gave it our best shot. I'm real happy with the car. I can't believe it run the way it did. The way we qualified and the way we worked all day, I thought we worked backwards. But it just come alive here in the race. I don't know what's going to happen the second 50 lap. I'll make an adjustment or two, and hopefully we got something for these top 2 guys here, because I didn't have nothing for them this race.
How special is this finish to you? This is a really good finish.
It's pretty good. It's pretty special considering what I went through, and I didn't feel I had it anymore, and this proves I still do.
And he'll go into race number 2, second in points behind Crabtree. Look at our finishing order. Good run for Brian Harrison. Bob Shack finishes in 5th. Larry Wilcox 6th. Jason Shue recovers after that spin to finish in 10th. Our winners from Midvale having trouble. They finish well down in the order. Gosser in 16th and Stephen Cox in 18th. For Olivia Pritchett and the entire Sopwith Motorsports crew, I'm Gene Crane, and we'll see you next time.